Hello, Unimundi Effect family. Very interesting episode of today. Never before disclosed Mandela effect about Area 51, and after all, a new source that can be the cause of the Mandela effect, the Unimundi effect, and the Great Distortion. Not only CERN that always as the main source, as the source of the Mandela effect, but now today we have another source uh, instead of CERN. What's happening in the Unimundi? Well, uh, let's start. Let me go back in time to 2016, where I discovered the Mandela effect. And by the way, August of 2016 was the top of the Mandela effects of all times, where he had daily. And one of the days of that August of 2016, already disclosed in my Speaking the Unspeakable series, where we had one day where the Bibles, one Bible of and it's me Andrea, was everything on blank pages, was erased. The Bible was erased, not changed but erased. I have proof of that in my tablet, because it's me Andrea doesn't have more videos on her channel. He started a new phase now that have only lives, okay, and a new series started this week. But what is happening in Unimundi? Well, let me say that today I start to research about Area 51, and my surprise to see that it's not on Roswell in New Mexico. But wait, Nimundi, do you know it's on Nevada? I know, now I know, after so much research about the Mandela effect in the last 8 years, I know that Area 51 is now in Nevada. But till yesterday, some, some, something in my mind that is now what I will explain as a Mandela effect Area 51, that makes me believe that we have a Mandela effect there between Roswell and Area 51. Okay, and by the way, I have the explanation for what is causing the Mandela effect, Unimundi effect, and Great Distortion coming from Area 51. Not it's the final conclusion, but it's one of the lines of thinking. Do you know? I have three lines, very hard lines, that what in my point of view and my experience, the main line of thinking is always a simulated reality. For a second, we have a black hole that can cause Mandela effect, Unimundi effect, and Great Distortion. And now the third option comes from Area 51, by the disclosure of Bob Lazar in 1989, that he was hired by the United States government to reverse engineering of flying saucers, not only one, but three or four flying saucers. Okay, he was under a lie detect, and he passed the lie detect, and I believe Bob Lazar was at that reverse engineer side. And what does it have with the Mandela effect, Unimundi effect, and Great Distortion? Unimundi, that the reverse engineer of that flying saucers can does a distortion, because it's what it does. It distorts time and space and the gravity to go or out space or out time. Do you know? It can distorts time and space, that always they are together. A time and space are always together. So to do a distortion in space, you does a distortion in time, by the way, and to navigate the flying saucer. So does Unimundi, does the UFOs are doing the Mandela effect? No, no. It's the reversing engineer by humans that's causing that, because they don't know how to apply that engines to open the space to navigate, and it can cause the Mandela effect, can cause the Unimundi effect, and the Great Distortion. Okay, so I have the Great Distortion episode that you can find on my playlists of the Great Distortion. By going to the playlist, going to the Great Distortion, you will find an episode called the Great Distortion Area Chevrolet 51. What happened on that day? By entering a distorted site where I have some motorcycles of the 60s and 70s, new as built last week. That's an impossible thing. And by entering this place where we had some anomaly regarding not only Unimundi effect distorting the colors, but the elements of that motorcycles was like impossible to have so restored motorcycle, not only one but more, after 20. Okay, we have this episode on the playlist on Great Distortion Chevrolet, the Great Distortion Chevrolet Area 51. And by entering that distortion place, just in the entering, we had a Chevrolet 51. Okay, we had a Chevrolet 51, and the distortion starts. So it is clear that that Chevrolet 51 is part of that distortion, and it can comes from the 50s, exactly, that this distortion from our Area 51, that reversing engineers and does all of that, and comes with a Chevrolet 51 to the place. Okay, so let's go to the main reason of this video, that is exactly the Mandela effect, Area 51, the Roswell incident. So I have now what we call the residual evidence, that I have at the end of this video. You will watch those residual evidence. We have as residual evidence that Area 51 and Roswell are the same place, that the Roswell incident was on Area 51, that wasn't in Nevada, but in New Mexico. New Mexico, okay? So let me, I know this is, I am talking as a, don't know, apparatus, saying many things is very difficult to understand the line. Okay, we will start with the main reason of this video, that's the Mandela effect, Area 51, Roswell. What's happening in Unimundi? In 1995, my first contact with the flying saucers, how they call it mania, flying saucers mania, was 1977. Because I had one plastic saucer when I was, it was like a boomerang, and that toy comes with a book that telling about the incidents of Roswell. So it was my first contact with flying saucers. And after that, in 1995, I recorded the, what they call the, just a moment please. So I'm back. Well, as I said, now I had my first contact with the flying saucers mania in 1977 by buying a plastic boomerang disc, okay, that comes with a book talking about the UFO mania. After that, between that and 1995, that I will start to disclose now case, I had some contacts with UFO by what they call the first contact, the first that you have only an eye contact, that I saw 5 or 6 times in my life. I saw a flying saucer in the sky with high speed or lightning. Okay, so and between 77, that visual contacts and the 1995 video, when I start to see on a program that my country is called fantástico, okay, fantastic in English. I I had contact with the Roswell incident and the fake autopsy of the supposed Roswell alien, okay, that we know now that it wasn't real, okay, but at that time and on that video and on that program, I record as it was today that the Area 51 and the Roswell was at the same place. Okay, how the Mundi? Now, well, now I know that there are 1,800 miles of different, almost 2,000 miles between New Mexico and Nevada, between Area 51 and Roswell. We have 2,000 miles. So, as always in the Mandela effect, what I always say, that the reason and the logical thinking is always what makes we define if it is a Mandela effect or not. So let's disclose now about that. They now say that the Roswell incident that was in New Mexico in maybe 48, what they say, 47, 48, okay, and the 51 base in Nevada was built in 1955, okay. There is no relation between Area 51 and Roswell, but the logical thinking make us to ask how, if it wasn't at the same time. There are a lapse of 7 or 8 years between the creation of Area 51 and the Roswell incident. Okay, why are they so closely related? To talk about Area 51 is almost the same talk of Roswell incident, and they say that the bodies of the Roswell incident was at Area 51. Okay, so and what you have in Area 51? You have absolutely nothing before 1989. You don't have nothing talking that we had flying saucer test or anything related to UFO in Nevada Area 51. Okay, before 89 disclosure of Bob Lazar. Okay, that I only knew about that in the last 8 years researching about the Mandela effect. I have contact with Bob Lazar history, and all of that has been affected by the Unimundi effect. Also, I have the Bob Lazar sketch affected by the Unimundi effect in two colors. Okay, so uh, we must use the logical thinking that Roswell and Area 51 Mandela effect is very concrete, okay? Because you don't have a UFO incident on on that Area 51. Never. Okay, we only have Bob Lazar in '89 saying that he was hired to reverse engineer of that flying saucers. Okay, and by the way, FBI hid his house looking for a kind of element that is unknown to the periodic table of elements, okay, that it can make the flying saucer. So the history of Bob Lazar, if you don't know, you must know that it is very concrete that he had tried to reverse engineer the United States, tried to reverse engineer of the flying saucers of the Area 51, and that reverse engineer can cause what I call the great distortion. Okay, the great distortion can cause that. What is the distortion? It distorts, not bends the matter, but bends the soul of that. And we had this month a great distortion of some great distortion. Most amazing is Prince William, a bearded Prince William after homeless event. So it's clear distortion. We have more distortion with what I don't remember what I did. It was Trump, but I believe that the last distortion was Trump. But I can say that the McDonald's fries of Donald Trump seems to be another distortion. I'm not doing this video because I don't want at that time it looks like a political propaganda, but I'm not talking about that. I will not talking about the Trump French fries. Okay, so the reverse engineer of those flying saucers by the humans can cause that distortion that makes it like what they people call it CERN cause the Mandela effect, and also that reverse engineer can cause, but it at that machine is open time space hole to or something like that to do that thing that distorts time space to fly. Do you know? So we have let's remember we have a Mandela effect regarding Area 51 and Roswell, because the Roswell incident is very, by the word, the number one incident. You don't have even one incident at Area 51. Okay, I have residual evidence that I will show at the end of this video, showing a game. And then you know that a game is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Okay, it's possible to someone to create a wrong game, saying that Area 51 and Area 51, the Roswell incident is a video game. Okay, it's possible someone to invest time on something that he can even know that Area 51 and Roswell are 2,000 miles, 1,800 miles from distance. Okay, so we have many residual evidence. We have the logical thinking that we never had an incident at Area 51 unless the Bob Lazar disclosure about that place. Okay, and uh, so it's um, very good time to say that not only CERN can do the Mandela effect, but that reversing engineer of the flying saucer may cause that distortion that can also change the color. So that there are lines that we have 3 or 4 or 5 who those believe that CERN. I don't believe personally that CERN did it. So it's not on my 3 lines now. My lines are: first, over 50% that it's a computer-alike system. Okay. The second is black hole can do all of that, can do the Mandela effect, can do the distortion of the Unimundi effect, and can do the great distortion. And now we have the third option, that is reverse engineer of flying saucer can do that distortion by opening a hole in maybe a little black hole, but they believe that it's different, that distortion of the flying saucer. It mess time space. Okay, that flying saucer can travel not only space but time. Okay, it can join time ahead. Okay, that what I believe that the flying saucers are not from an outer space but an outer time. Okay, they are us in the future coming maybe back. Okay, so this is the a very interesting Mandela effect of today, that Area 51 for me and Roswell was the same place. Okay, maybe with 2,000 miles now of difference for me, and always it was till yesterday that now I know that one is 2,000 miles different from another. Maybe you know that one was in Nevada in the last 6 years. I know that Area 51 in the last 8 years. Area 51 is in Nevada, obviously. But yesterday I have shock to match that information that Area 51 and Roswell are different, and you don't have an incident in Area 51, but you have in the Roswell. Okay, so what I have to say that Mandela effect, Roswell, Area 51. So again, thank you very much.